safari. Para su seguridad, permanezcan sentados y mantengan las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del vehículo.
No, deja tus piernas afuera.
Gracias. Ciao, everyone. And welcome to Kilimanjaro Safari.
Eso sí. Ay.
If you're sitting on the right, wash your hands, arms, feet, and legs. Those doors are going to be sliding closed.
Va.
And let's take our final seat. So the next thing in Harambe is 20, which means let's go. Jumbo friends, welcome aboard. My name is Aliciana. I'll be your safari guide today. And welcome to the Harambe Wildlife Reserve.
Oh my God.
While we're out there, please remain seated at all times, keeping hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle.
Va a caer tu teléfono.
First up, we are entering the Little Enturi Forest. Here the animals are going to mostly rely on camouflage to hide from predators. Keep an eye out on those trees and bushes, they might
Oh,
be
look,
hiding.
look.
Up first on the right is the okapi. Oh, and there's the bongo laying down there in the bush as well.
Oh, wow.
The okapi have those black and white stripes on their legs. They look like zebras, but they are not related. In fact, they're the only relative of the giraffe. And we know that because they have the same shaped skull and those same long prehensile tongues that they can use to grab leaves off the trees. On the left, right by the water, there's this large black and white bird. That is the saddle-billed stork. They get their name from the saddle-shaped crest on their bills. They're about 5 feet tall with a wingspan of about 9 feet wide, which is a little shorter than the canopy above you. They're typically found in pairs, and you could tell them apart because the males have brown eyes and the females have yellow eyes.
A ver qué color tiene esa cosa. Para ver qué. Verde.
Hiding in the tree on the right is the greater kudu.
Oh, look at this.
Where?
There's one right here. They're all in those trees. They're gonna have little white stripes on their back, same with the bongos. This is gonna help camouflage them as it looks like the sun coming in through the trees. Only the males are gonna have horns, so these are females. But both male and female bongos will have those long horns that twist backwards. When they tilt their heads up, their horns can lay flat across their back, allowing them to sneak quietly through the bushes. Now we're heading into the Safi River. Keep an eye out on the water. Look for any bubbles or ripples or any dark shadows. Up first on the right are the pink-backed pelicans.
Oh, the hippo.
They're going to get their pink backs during mating season. They're the only pelicans known to nest in trees. They can be in groups of up to 500.
Pelícanos, pelícanos. Oh my goodness. Mira, se está posando, mírala. Mírala, está haciendo cuatro.
There may or may not be hippos in the water. They're going to spend most of their day submerged underwater, and they can hold their breath for several minutes. They can even sleep underwater, naturally floating up whenever they need a breath of air while staying asleep. And they typically don't swim. Instead, they're going to sink to the bottom and walk or even run along the riverbeds. They can travel up to 6 miles each night on land in search of food. On the left, there are some Nile crocodiles.
Oh, I see it. Oh.
These are the largest crocodilian species in Africa. while they're sunbathing. They also have sensors to detect any movement or vibrations in the water. And we're going to be headed out into the savannah. Out here, the animals can't rely on their camouflage as much, so they're going to rely on other things like speed and agility, size and strength, or safety in numbers.
Cierto.
Up first on the right, this is large, lighter tan antelope. That is the eland. They're about 6 feet tall at the shoulder. When they walk, their tendons will slip over their joints and make a clicking noise.
Giraffes.
And during mating season, they're going to use their horns to dig up leaves and flowers to impress the females. There's also the Maasai giraffes. They're about 18 to 20 feet tall. When they're born, they're about 6 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
It'll take about 4 years for them to get that full grown height.
Mira, nadie te va a corretear.
Estoy en modo avión ahorita. Correcté, ya no me muevo.
Que te corretee. Mira, esos chiquititos. Qué lindos.
Over on the left, in that little den, there are African painted dogs. They're one of the most successful predators in Africa. And they are somewhat related to the domesticated dog, but they only have 4 toes per paw instead of 5. Also on the left, that dark brown antelope is the sable antelope, and then there's also going to be some wildebeest.
¿Cómo se llama eso? ¿Toro?
The sable antelope are the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, and in a fight-or-flight situation, they are always going to fight. The wildebeest is the second most densely packed mammal after humans, and they can migrate 500 to 1,000 miles each year in search of water.
Estamos en el camino.
There's another giraffe over on the left. These giraffes are going to spend most of their day eating, only sleeping for about 30 minutes a day, taking short little power naps while standing.
Pobrecito, me han engañado mucho.
And we can tell they're Maasai giraffe because their spots are jagged on the edges. Out on the right, there's those little brown antelope with the black stripe. That is the springbok. They can leap 9 to 13 feet in the air. And here are some Ankole cattle as well.
Cuernudos.
Their horns can be about 6 to 8 feet from end to end. They're very lightweight though, almost hollow on the inside with a honeycomb-like texture. It's going to help regulate their body temperature. They're also named the Watusi cattle, named after the people who first domesticated them. And they are the only domesticated animal on the reserve.
¿La misma chofer que estamos hablando? Think so, I don't see it.
O sea, ya le ves el micrófono.
Ustedes llegaban ahí que aquí hay mucho como palmeras.
Ajá.
Palmeras. Mira, está llegando.
Esa jirafa come tóxicas.
Now we're passing all these knocked over trees, which is a good sign that we are headed into elephant country. They're going to be the bulldozers
Elephants.
out on the savannah.
Ahí venimos corriendo todo el safari.
Over on the right is the African elephant.
Allá está.
Also on the left, in the very upper corner, there are mandrill monkeys as well. Mandrill monkeys have those blue and red faces. They're gonna get brighter when they are happy or excited.
Oh, I
They
see
also have
one over
patches
there.
in their cheeks to store extra food in. The male African elephants will be about 13,000 pounds, while the females will be about 8,000 pounds. They're gonna have those very large ears they can use to help keep them cool. Because of their large ears, they do have very sensitive hearing though, and they are afraid of bees. Farmers in Africa used to have issues with elephants walking through their crops and destroying them, and they were using some not so good methods to keep them out.
Hay que bajarnos a ver.
No, yo la quiero mucho, pero no me va.
Thanks to conservation efforts, they're going to use beehives along their fences, and that's going to help keep the elephants away in a much safer way. Now we're passing through some red clay. They're going to use their tusks to dig this up and eat it. It's got a lot of great minerals in it for them, kind of like a multivitamin. You'll see those tusk marks on the right. These elephants will eat about 300 to 500 pounds of food in a single day. Only about 30% of that gets fully digested though. So as they are walking around and migrating, they are also helping to rebuild and fertilize the ecosystem. Because of this, they are considered a keystone species.
¿Escuchas? Que no se cruza.
Lo que las tierras separadas.
Nos van a meter al agua.
Over on the left are the greater flamingos. These are the largest and palest of the flamingos. They get their color from the beta carotene in the shrimp that they eat. It'll take about 2 years for them to get that pink color, so they aren't born gray.
Yeah, look at that little one by himself.
They can live in colonies tens of thousands large, and a group of them is called a flamboyance.
Oh my
Rhinos.
God, look at that.
On the left are white rhinos. They're about 6,000 pounds fully grown. And they're going to live in groups of 5 to 20. And a group of them is called a crash. They're going to use that large mud pit in the middle to roll around it and cover themselves in mud to protect them from the sun. It acts as a natural sunscreen. but also helps to keep them cool. They get their name from a mispronunciation of the word bite, meaning wide, because of that wide upper lip that they have.
Huelen a alfalfa.
Oh, it's closed. You don't even look real.
Out on the hill, straight out in the middle of that grassy patch, there is a cheetah laying down. It's just kind of hard to see though in the shade. Cheetahs are one of the fastest land mammals, reaching speeds of up to 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. They're going to use their incredibly powerful tails to help make those quick, sharp turns and keep their balance.
Como el león, pero con manchas.
Under their eyes, they've got those black tear stain markings. It's going to help reduce the glare from the sun. They will go out and hunt during the day, and they're the only big cat known to do that.
Como el gato.
Empujar en carro. Bueno, primero los hombres. Mayores de 20.
Siempre menos delgado. ¿Ya? ¿Acabó?
Now, looks like we've just got a little bit of a traffic jam.
Mientras estamos lejos de la chida. Sí, en la grama.
Ay, no, esa fuera, imagínate.
Now, these large rocks ahead of us are called copies. Larger predators like lions are going to use these as lookout points so they can see out over the savanna.
Mira, está bien nuevo. Pero no con más. ¿Sabes quién me rompió esos carros? Cuando te están grabando.
¿Estás grabando?
¿Estás grabando?
These lions, they're going to be in the middle by that second tree. They're going to spend most of their day resting, only sleeping for about 20 hours a day.
Se ve sus pies.
Oh, el león, ajá.
The females will be the ones to go out at night and hunt, while the males stay home to defend their territory and their cubs. is about 6 times better than a human.
Ay, se mueve, no, quédate dormidito.
The male lions are going to have those big fluffy manes, and their roars can be heard for up to 5 miles. Out on the right, there is an ostrich out there, and then there's a little brown antelope, and that is the water buck.
Ah, mira esa.
The ostrich is the largest flightless bird, about 6 to 7 feet tall, and weighing about 300 pounds.
Oh, sí, mira, está bien. Está como en la playa. Ah, un pequeñito.
Over on the left,
Jabalí,
there
¿no?
is a warthog. A few of them.
Están peleando.
They're one of the largest burrowing animals. They're going to use their tusks to dig out their burrows. They're also going to use them for protection. They can back in so that they're ready to go at a moment's notice. Here's this ostrich and the water buck again.
Oh my
The
God.
water buck get their name because they love the water. They have an oily sheen on their coats that's going to help waterproof them. These are female ostriches. They've got those gray feathers. Males will have darker, almost black feathers with white tips.
Mira, me acordé como curtieron a los patos.
Females will typically lay their eggs together in groups like this one here on the right. Each one of those eggs is about 3 pounds, and it's the equivalent of approximately 24 chicken eggs. They are so strong that the average adult male could stand on them and not even crack them. Now we're entering Magadi Glen. This is where the warden's post is. There's going to be some Nigerian dwarf goats here.
Míralo.
These goats are known for their very sweet milk. They're also considered nature's weed eaters. They're going to eat most plants that other animals won't. That yellow box in the middle, that is those beehives that the farmers in Africa will use to help keep the elephants out of their
Eso estaba
crops.
pintado. Mira, ves todos los como cuando vivimos allá.
It's just a few examples of how humans and animals can coexist and live together. Now we are headed out of the reserve. We're going to go back to the village. Some things we can do to help protect these animals so we can keep seeing them for many more years is to always recycle. You can use those reusable water bottles and grocery bags, things like that, to help limit the single-use plastics that typically end up in their habitats. You can even recycle your old electronics as well. Phones and laptops contain a mineral in them called coltan, which is commonly mined for in these parts of Africa where these animals live. You can take those to any local electronics store. things we can do to help protect these animals. While you may not see them in your backyards, you can still plant beehives and little gardens. It's going to help protect these species. Both bees and butterflies are technically endangered, so we can always help them out as well. And you can buy sustainable products, things that are beneficial for the ecosystem. Rafiki's Planet Watch. It's a short train right away. It leaves every few minutes from the village. It does close at 4:30 though, so I'd recommend doing that now if that's something you want to check out. Out there they have an animal hospital. They have an animation drawing class. They'll give you step-by-step instructions to draw some fun characters. They also have an affection section, which is like a little petting zoo, so you can pet some animals like those Nigerian dwarf goats and sheep. And they have a conservation station, so you can learn more about the Disney Conservation Fund and all the great work that they do to help support these animals both here and over in Africa. Later today, no two safaris are the same. You might see some different animals or learn some new facts.
De repente se sintió
far too final, so instead we're going to say Kwaherini, which means go well.